Oh, dog's racing. Here's some new friends here near Qadventures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you guys all brothers?
Yes.
Have you flown it already? Did it go up in the air?
In some small way, you know, contribute this to the world, you know,
Beautiful.
in a positive way. You know, it's just like leave all these negativity alone, leave all these you know, evil alone. You know, it's just like we don't need more of it. You know, it's just do something to inspire others. You know, to help out others.
Anything you want to say? Anything you want to add to this? What have you been dying to say? Do you care about this guy? Yeah. He a pretty good guy? So we can believe him? And my brother. Anything you want to ask?
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
This is Derek. So he covers it, makes a hole, and then he puts it in a bag. And then he takes out the milk. There we go. One for me, one for my brother. Here in Cebu City. December 5th, 2024. Break it in half. And scoop it out. Salamat po. This is one day in Cebu City. So once again, similar to the vlog about Narita and our one day in Narita, you know, the day where we ate at the hotel's Japanese buffet in the morning, then went to Caesarea after a nap, and then nap and a walk, or a walk and a nap, and then finish the day, one day in Narita with fabulous sushi. Well, we arrived here late last evening and had one day to spend, and so we spent it in the morning with me going and getting a SIM card and having a massage, and in fact I had a body scrub as well. And coming? Brother, it's coming. James! Coming. Thank you. Salamat po. Well, now we're in Cebu, and as I said, I had a chance to walk around, see some things this morning. My brother did some things. I interviewed April, which is going to be the showpiece, the centerpiece of this, plus what we're about to do now, which is go to
Qadventures. Qadventures and Lapu-Lapu.
We're going to ride motorcycles at Qadventures and interview the owner.
You know this place?
Cebu Province. When did you become a taxi driver? How long?
2010 start, sir.
2000?
2010.
2010, so 15 years. Been a good career for you? Good business? Sometimes.
Pay little.
I bet you met lots of interesting people. Oh, this has got no window. How you doing? YouTube. here at Derek Q Adventure place. Very interesting, beautiful area. Close actually to the airport. Christian Fellowship. Tell me. Hi kids, how you doing? You all gonna be on YouTube. What are you playing? Are you playing a game? What are you playing? Oh, you built a kite?
Yeah, the kite.
Wow, that is so cool. Let's put that on YouTube. You built this yourself?
Yes.
You did it. You're going to be an engineer one day. Oh, dog's racing. Here's some new friends here near Q Adventures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you guys all brothers?
Yes.
Have you flown it already? Did it go up in the air?
Yes.
The kite went up high?
Yes.
Are you going to fly today?
Yes.
Oh, have fun, guys.
What's name in your YouTube?
Advisor? Danny. Advisor? Danny. Advisor Danny. You can find it. You're going to be on it. You're wonderful looking boys. All right, let's see if we can find. Bye. Bye. We'll see you next time in the movie. He wants to be a YouTube star. The roosters are waiting. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. Is this Q Adventures?
No.
No?
Yes.
Q Adventures?
Yes.
Is Derek here?
We make
No, want to rent some
I have a meeting with Derek.
Derek Oy.
Q Adventures.
Derek Nowitzki.
Because I see the sign here. Come there. Pretty hard to find this place. Waiting for my brother. This is it here?
Your brother Derek?
No, my brother's coming right here.
Oh, okay.
But we're looking for
You're
Derek.
going adventure?
What's that?
You're
YouTube.
Are you YouTube?
You're going to be on YouTube. Say this. Advisor
Advisor.
Danny.
Danny.
Advisor Danny.
Advisor Danny.
You're going to be on it.
Yes. Advisor Danny.
Can you find it? ADVISOR. Danny. DANNY.
Can we? Can I see your?
Hey girls, how you doing? Is this somebody's house? This whole thing?
No.
Apartments?
Just like we will make we're just making a star.
A star?
Yeah. Parol. It's magical.
What is it?
Parol. It is called in Philippines. You.
Me, yes! You. You know what my biggest video is? The grand opening of Jollibee in Vancouver, Canada, where I am from.
Wow. How many subscribers?
3,000. I'm small channel. What's that?
You know Piolo Pascual? It's just a beginning.
Now we know, and the camera does too.
You know, wait. You know James Reed?
Now it's you?
Yeah! You know Enrique?
Whoa! Derek,
How are you doing?
nice to meet you in person.
Pleasure's mine. I have a retarded arm, so I can't shake.
What happened?
Stupidity. I dove head first into shallow waters, like, you know. And then my head got some of it, but my arm, you know, absorbed a lot.
Are they
so
treating
I have a fracture right there.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's the long-term prognosis?
I'm going to follow up tomorrow,
Okay.
just to see how the healing process works.
Okay.
Wow, that must have been painful.
Surprisingly, it wasn't.
No?
You know, like I didn't feel any pain at all. I instantly I couldn't move it.
Okay.
It just felt sore and a lot of numbness. But even the day after, you know, the following day, I didn't feel any pain. Oh, this is Tony, by the way.
Hey, Tony. Danny. How are you doing? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, yeah.
We're from Vancouver, Canada.
Oh, right on.
I had business traveling from Tokyo to Manila every month, but I have never been anywhere in the provinces.
How long have you been here?
We just came late last night, and we're going down to Dumaguete tomorrow noontime.
5 years.
You like it? Are you living here or
No, it's my first.
Yeah, the funny thing
just
is,
visiting and then see what's going to happen?
you know,
Very cool.
it's all a one-way thing.
Yeah.
Because you're observing.
Yeah.
So I watched your stuff, and
Yes, I'm going to try to do the same.
support it.
Cool.
You're kind of
Nice
part
to
of it
meet
'cause you're
you.
watching. You're one of the
Yeah.
subscribers. But I mean, for you guys, you got how many people? I mean, you got a lot of subscribers. It's crazy what YouTube does, though, right? Like brings the other side of the world close to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sure does.
What is your quick story? How you came here from somewhere? I saw somewhere refugee status. What was that all about?
Oh yeah, I was born in Vietnam, you know, in 1978. So my grandfather, pretty much my entire father's side of the family,
Okay.
they were the boat people that jump into the fishing boat and just float out there, and hoping to be rescued by the U.S. Navy. Which fortunately they did. My older brother was, you know, there with them, and you know, he ran such a high fever that, you know, he almost, like, they told him that he's dead weight because, you know, like the boat was overcrowded. There's no sanitation, no hygiene. So he was dead weight. They were gonna throw him overboard. My uncle, my father's little brother, you know, like literally fist fought the people to save him. And fortunately, my brother, you know, like beat the fever.
Wow.
The only reason why my parents didn't jump on the boat is because I was a newborn. I was a fat baby.
You were a big
So
bun
my
me.
Yeah, like my mom was still recovering from, you know, giving birth. And it was you know, like these things, you know, it's just like the boat's here. You gotta go now. You have the gold bar to pay us.
You were
gotta
going
go
from
now.
where to where?
Vietnam to, well, we were sponsored by my uncle, you know,
In America?
in America for
Okay.
family unification.
Okay.
But because we are still classified as the war families, so we were still labeled as refugees.
Okay.
So we flew from Saigon at that time, Ho Chi Minh,
Ho Chi Minh?
City
Okay.
nowadays.
Yeah.
From there to Thailand for processing for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then from Thailand to Bataan refugee camp for 6 months to westernize us.
Have you told the story
right?
in video? Have you
Yeah.
laid it out? Is
not in details like this.
that
but
would be a great story.
Yeah, and yeah, during the 6 months that I was in Philippines, you know, like I was 7, 8 years old.
So you remember it was a good,
lot. It
good
was
experience?
Great
or?
experience. You know, we were up in the mountains. You know, it was just us refugees in you know, the camp. And then there's, you know, a few locals here and there that, you know, like do money exchange for us and stuff like that. They had every reason to take advantage of us because we were isolated. They didn't, you know, they gave us fair exchange rates. My parents always tell me they
Wow.
gave us fair exchange rates. They taught us how to survive up in the mountains, how to, you know, like grab pails and pails of fresh water, you know. And
You don't forget that, do you?
I learned how to swim in the Philippines back then.
So you eventually made it to the United States, and then you lived there for a while.
Yeah.
What were you doing there?
I was in the sales profession.
Okay.
I was a professional job hopper.
Okay.
Every sales position that I obtained, it was like a commission-based financial products, like banking products, life insurance, stuff like that. But mainly because I'm, you know, like a high school dropout, I don't have a college degree, so I got involved with, you know, like products that would benefit myself. You know, like it was just like basically getting paid to learn.
Right.
You
right.
know, so like after 2 years, I feel like, oh, you know, like I've learned all that I can learn. You know, it's not much more than I resign and I jump to the next thing, like mortgages, for example,
Right.
and learn real estate. And then
Right.
after that, fortunately for me, you know, it's just I was successful. I was, you know, like what you would call it. I was thriving in all the sales positions that I obtained.
Right.
And earned great commission in the process, and I was able to stop working at 37. I'm
So
not rich.
you could retire.
I'm not retired. You know, I don't collect a pension. I don't collect. I
Right.
don't have a 401k. but I, with the money that I've earned,
Residual.
there's no residual.
It was just you had good years.
Yeah,
really
I
good
just-
years.
Yeah, I just invested my money wise in real estate, so I collect rent now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very. The little I understand about your
You want
story
to
is
jump over there? I
Sure.
want to stay away from the sun and the music.
Sure. You came here. Why? You had good memory.
Yeah.
You had done well at 38. You're ready for another challenge. It sounds like.
Not so much as a challenge. You don't mind I sit down, yeah?
You do whatever's good. Come on over here, bro. Yeah. I think I'm gonna get here out of the sun, and then
Not
the
so
audio.
much as a challenge, but yes, definitely the good memory. About 17 years ago, I came back for the first time as an adult. I thought I would, investigate the refugee camp that I was at.
Okay.
But just my personality. I'm not an organized person. I don't do research. For whatever reason, I thought it was a good idea to stab middle of the Philippines, which is
Right.
Cebu right here. And then once I landed, I got so distracted. I was a young man, so all these young ladies.
Wow, this is.
So I got distracted in the refugee camp far up north in Bataan, Subic Bay. I completely, abandoned that idea because I loved it so much from the first experience. I knew I was going to come back again and again.
Okay.
The first time I came here was only for 2 weeks, and I felt it was not, simply not enough time. So, thereafter, I just came back, like 4 more times.
Okay.
And each time I stayed between 1 to 3 months.
Okay.
And that was enough time for me to roam around on a motorbike and stuff like that. And I just fell in love with the local culture. One time, just for example, one time I was like in the deep province in Bohol. I had a flat tire. The inner tube was,
Sure.
and I was stuck. There's like nothing in sight. And there's this group of kids, ran to me and go, oh, whatever, what's wrong? And then obviously, the flat tire. I asked them if there was a shop around. They say nope, not until 4 kilometers down the street. Long story short, it's just like they ran down on foot, flip flops, 4 kilometers down the street, brought somebody and helped me change the inner tube. And I try to give these kids some money, just to, like buy a Coke or something. Nothing extravagant.
Right.
They're like, no, we can't accept it. And, but don't take that story the wrong way. In the city right here, people will take your money in a heartbeat, and they ask for more.
Yeah.
But in the deep province, I feel like the people are, like the local people, they are less exposed to people like you and I.
Right.
And we don't spoil them. We don't, corrupt their traditions.
Right.
And then they're just more genuine, from stuff like that. I just decided to come to the Philippines and settle down.
You were a boat baby with your family. You early on, 7, 8 years old, ended up as a refugee here in the Philippines, where people were kind to you. A lot of times people think us white boys don't have any refugee stories, but we actually have a father that was a refugee. In a way,
Yeah.
he was sponsored, like you were, by his uncle
Okay.
to come to Canada from Russia in 1948.
Okay.
He was 16 years old.
Oh, cool.
And he came and he had in German it's called Reiseschuld, a travel debt, which he paid off picking apples in an orchard in Kelowna, BC, which is a fruit area. So we have refugee stories, but they're not as colorful maybe. I've got a good friend in Vancouver, Roman Ansari, a refugee who came to Canada, and now he's got one of the largest feeding programs to the homeless in Vancouver, and this dude sits on the board of 19 companies and got all kinds of great stories. But today we're talking to Derek Quach
Yes. Precisely.
at Qadventures, who has come to a place where after those years and going through real estate in the United States at 37, 38, now had rental money coming in and started coming to the Philippines a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
Re-falling in love with this place and the people that he was crossing path with. And now we're up to the part of the story where you decided to start making a difference in other people's lives.
Yeah.
Motorcycles is a part of your story.
Well, yeah, like even back home, motorcycles have, 2 wheels has always been my passion, but LA, you can't really, people drive like jerks. So I don't get on a motorcycle in LA, but it's always been my passion. And I just thought that, you know, I love starting, you know, up businesses, and then it's just my addiction, I guess.
Okay.
So, you know, like I thought that, I mean, I've always had it in my heart, even when I was 18 years old with my first job, you know, it's just like I was contributing, you know, like 10% of my paycheck to, there used to be this organization, I don't know if they still exist, called Feed the Children.
Oh.
They used to,
It sounds familiar.
yeah, they used to run these infomercials, you know, like
Right.
2 a.m. or whatever, you know,
Sure.
with these African kids, bloated bodies and stuff like that. So I used to contribute to them a lot, you know, like, so it's always been in my thoughts and blood, you know. But then after 2 years of donating, I started to read the fine print, and then, you know, it's just like
90% going to administration.
yeah, I think 5 or 6% actually goes to these.
Yep. So it's
kids,
very
yeah.
typical.
So I cut the cord, you know, and then like, but even like small little stuff, I used to drive on the freeway and raining hard, and I see a mother carrying her baby, you know, like in the middle of the freeway, I just spin back and, you know, give them a ride. They would get my leather seat all wet, which is, you know, fine. More importantly, I got to pick them up. So, you know, like in Los Angeles, you know, like and San Antonio, Texas, where I spent 2 years, you know, flipping homes. You know, you see a homeless person, you know, it's just like the problem that we have in America, in the West, you know, it's just like you go to Starbucks, you buy a sandwich and give to a homeless person, they have some kind of allergy.
Right.
You know, they'll sue you. I didn't make the sandwich, I was trying to be nice,
Right,
you know, it's just
right.
like so it's hard to be a good person in
Right.
societies like that.
Right.
You know, it's just like, where can I go? You know, the Philippines has you know, a deep space in my heart. So I decided to come here, and then over here doing business is very different from the United States. You know, this is my residential rental area.
Okay.
You know, I run a business out of it. I don't need a special permit. I don't need liability insurance. In America, liability insurance to open a business alone will drive you broke.
Right.
You know, so initially I started this business with about $6,000, about 4 units. And then just from the rental money that I collect, I
Kept
just re-up,
growing.
kept going. And now I'm over 34 units.
In this area?
Yeah, in this area. Yeah, I started like just down the street.
Very
and then
cool. And
yeah.
this is an area that's known as what? Macatan or?
Mactan.
Mactan.
Yeah, Mactan is the island itself where the Cebu airport is located.
Yes.
So it's a small island, you know, connected to Cebu by 3 bridges. And yeah, this is
Got resorts out here, some beautiful resorts.
yeah, this is a resort town. Mactan Island is a resort town. You know, over in Cebu, there's more hotels than resorts.
Right.
But over here, it's just more resorts and hotel because of the access to the water over here. Yeah.
So you make your money in real estate primarily. Then
Back home, yes.
Not here.
Not here.
Here you don't have rentals. Here you're not involved. Okay, that is all back there.
Yeah.
34 properties.
Yeah.
You are here.
No, 34 units of bikes.
Bikes. Okay, not rentals. So the motorcycle is your primary business, helping people
and
rent
vlogging.
and vlogging.
Yeah.
So you started YouTube when?
About 2 years ago.
Why did you start a channel?
You know, funny that you ask, because, you know, like previous to YouTube, I am totally against turning on the camera, whether it is, you know, taking a selfie or taking a video, because I travel a lot and I love, you know, like natural places.
Okay.
And then I feel like, you know, when I'm up in the mountain looking at the valley of some kind of beautiful scene, you know, if I was to pull out my camera from my pocket, turn it on and get it set up, you know, I kind of lost that moment.
Sure.
You know, so like my philosophy, you know, for most of my life has always been, you know, whatever's worth remembering is in front of us.
Right.
Even if I take a photo, I'm not
Right.
going to go back and refer to it.
Right.
But
I get it.
Yeah.
It's so true, because my brother, often I'll tell him a funny story that happened to me. I'm riding a bus somewhere and somebody does something and he said, I hope your camera was rolling. I said, no. Many of these moments, you just don't.
Yeah.
You don't want to be invasive if people aren't inviting
Right,
you in.
right.
And what happens is usually pretty sensitive. You know,
Yeah.
it's guys shouting out information that's inappropriate, and the
Yeah.
whole bus is just going about their business, not even paying attention.
Yeah, and you're not
I'm
gonna-
his best friend, and I've
Yeah.
never met the guy.
Yeah, and you're not gonna go out and tell that guy, no, wait, let me pull out my camera. Can you repeat that?
So,
We're not gonna do that, yeah.
you weren't a camera kind of guy, but 2 years ago, something
Yeah.
triggered you.
I just wanted, you know, because my very first video on my YouTube channel, Qadventures, by the way.
Q
Please,
Adventures,
tune
like,
in and
subscribe, share. We're going to put it all in here.
Yeah. My very first video I made, like that was like 2-3 months after I arrived in the Philippines, and I got all the island hopping and traveling out of my system. It was time for me to settle down. My very first video, I made a statement of intent, what I was going to do in the Philippines, what I plan on, stuff like that. And most of it was, one of it was, philanthropic efforts. I'm not a philanthropist,
Right.
but it's just like I want to,
Make a difference.
Yeah, pursue stuff like that. And then number 2 is to start multiple businesses here, so I can create jobs here that are not minimum wage.
Okay. In motorcycle or in other areas?
Just different areas. We have 2 boats now, and we're renovating a space right there to open up a restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
What will the theme be of that?
That the 2 girls that got involved with us, they have a background in restaurants, so they're gonna start with like local stuff, but we're gonna develop different menus, different options. Like we have a lot of subscribers that are in the cooking space.
Okay.
So they come and teach our staff how to mix spaghetti and meatballs, Italian meatballs with Parmesan cheese and everything. Stuff like that is difficult to find here in the Philippines, because Philippines here, spaghetti is usually served with like sweet tomato sauce
Jolly
and hot
baby.
dog. It's just like I can't do that.
I don't get it.
I need the entire meatball. So those are the things that we're once the restaurant is up and going, we're gonna offer not only to the locals but to the resorts and the subdivisions, the expat communities that are here. Like that. At the same time, we're gonna benefit the college/high school right there.
Is it the tourism college? Or is that a different one that's in Cebu?
Well, this college right here does offer tourism as well as nursing, criminology, and one other topic that I'm
I
unaware
read
of.
somewhere your channel, you and some friends, I don't know how it's structured, are taking care of the tuition of some girl. Is she from that school? Vanessa,
no,
Janet, something like that?
Not from the school, but 3 girls and 1 boy. The boy is in Bohol, and then the 3 girls are just scattered here in the on Mactan. Yeah. And a lot of that, the funding for that is first and foremost is from donations from my subscribers.
Okay.
But don't get me wrong, I never, well, actually, let me take it back. With the exception to one time where a 3-year-old has a a heart condition where he has a hole.
Right.
It was a pretty dire situation. That was the one time that I actually verbally asked for donations to save this kid's life. But long story short, we just came back from Manila and got the blessing from Senator Tufo's office, that his second operation will be covered. But that's despite the point. But I never, I never asked for donations. It's just because I never want to be accused of a cyber beggar. And that's just a terrible thing to do. So I mainly just make do with what
Put
I
it out
have
there and then let people respond.
No, it's just like I fund most of it from the profits of my motorbike rental, from my businesses, my different businesses, as well as my YouTube channel.
Okay.
The monetization.
Okay.
The way I look at it, it's just like me personally, I'm not a fancy guy. This shirt is 42 pesos, less than
Too much.
$1
I think
US
I
dollar.
could have got it for 35. You and I see a lot alike.
The Nike side is like peeling off,
Right.
So it's 42 pesos, less than $1 US. I'm a very simple person, the way I see it, as long as my staff are being taken care of and they're being treated well with dignity and respect, and then we have left over, then we sponsor kids to finish the college. So then, the hope is for them to break the cycle.
You keep pointing here and talking about staff. They are servicing the motorcycles, or what is their role? What are they doing?
I have one personal, I don't even, get involved with the motorcycle anymore. Like my partner,
I.
Yeah.
Is your Filipino girlfriend?
Yeah.
Okay.
My Filipino girlfriend.
Okay.
I'm not married and don't have any intention to. Never been married in my life.
Okay.
She and my personal assistant, takes care of the business day in, day out.
Okay.
I have no involvement whatsoever anymore.
Okay.
And then I have one person that I've recently hired to manage my YouTube channel.
Okay.
So he does he's the cameraman, he does all the video. That's I right there.
Hi. How are you? I'm Danny.
Hi, I'm Hi.
It's really nice to meet you. And my brother James.
Pleasure.
We have both had open heart surgery. I had the open heart surgery in August, 5 bypass, and carved out some of my heart, and I feel brand new, like a new life.
Good for you.
And my brother, about a little more than 2 years ago, had his. Similar 4 bypass and a valve and a pacemaker. And this was the first time we've ever traveled together internationally.
Oh wow.
And he's a diver as well.
Oh wow.
Loves motorcycles and loves diving.
Yeah.
So we are in the process of first of all, we had to make the call. We had to decide this was the time.
Yeah.
And we did that, and then we took a plane ride across from Vancouver to Calgary, actually, to Narita. And I lived in Japan before COVID.
Yeah.
My life's work.
Scoot down a little bit
Yeah,
more.
get
Stay
in the
away
sun,
from the
you're
sun.
gonna burn your
I'm gonna burn here.
Yeah.
Let's go blow my hat.
Ah, we're good now. My life's work has been helping good small business owners realize their dream. So I've been.
What respect, if you don't mind me asking? My
Sure.
capacity is 10 minutes. If I don't close the sale in 10 minutes, I run out of conversation. You know.
You watch Glengarry Grand Ross too many times. Always be closing.
Yeah, I heard of that movie. You know, I know it's about
I'm
used car
joking.
sales. Yeah, I know, but I've never seen it. I'm not a movie buff, you know, so I just don't, you know, ADHD. I can't sit for more than half an hour. But yeah, so you know, like I try to instill that in them. You know, it's just like if you're an expert on one thing, it's just like, what about the rest of the world? You know.
How did you guys meet?
You know, funny, you know, because I'm like totally anti-online, you know, dating sites.
Right.
But we met on a dating site.
So you started YouTube and you weren't much of a camera guy. There's a theme going on here. What's
Yeah.
next?
Yeah, I know. So like I'm living like a complete, you know, like against everything I you know, like kind of.
It's good, branching out. We too end up doing stuff we thought we'd never do. And because when you go through a hard thing and you're at death's door, literally, all of a sudden you realize how short life is.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to live life with purpose. One of the things my brother was really attracted to you was the fact that he understood from a distance. Now we get to meet you.
Yeah.
You're living life with purpose.
Yeah.
And so we want to know the backstory. That's why I'm asking these questions.
Yeah.
What brought you to this place? And
Yes.
I is a part of the vision,
Yeah.
the execution, the mission,
Yeah.
the whole developing story.
Yeah, like everything that I'm building here is not for me, it's for her, you know, even though I'm not, you know, we're not married, you know, it's just like
Not married.
neither of us.
I wanted to see in the eyes if that was going to be a topic of discussion.
No, neither of us, you know, like
Need it.
yeah, like believe in marriage, you know, like we're very busy people,
Right.
you know, and we don't plan to have any kids.
Right.
You know, we each have our, you know, own child, so you know that's just enough. So you know, everything that I build here, you know, is mainly for her. You know, it's just like whenever we decide to move to another country, whatever the case is, right? If we do,
Right.
You know, this is to preserve her generation wealth. You know, which I don't think before she met me, I don't think she has that concept.
What would you say to people that are considering a place to go, either retire or set up business? I mean, you're the perfect guy. You've got the experience and you're doing it. And obviously you've chosen for this time in your life the Philippines.
Yeah.
So what are the primary bullet points that caused you to stay here?
Yeah, I think, you know, choosing the Philippines was, you know, it wasn't very well thought out. You know, it was just passion. It was just something that was in my heart. You know,
Okay.
I've lived in Mexico. You know, it's just like, but as far as business is concerned, Philippines is definitely, you know, like the place to be. The reason why I say that is because it requires very minimum investment. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but you know, like as far as business concept are concerned,
Right.
you know, Philippines maybe, you know, it's like 10 years back, you know,
Right.
Stuff that, you know, like sales tactics that doesn't work back in the United States still, you know, it's still a new concept here and it flourishes,
Right.
you know, and then of course you're not restricted by all these high expense liability insurance, so on or whatnot, you know. You know, we do have a full corporation with our, you know, motorbike rental and our boat, you know,
Right.
so We're, like the corporation is set up where we can take on investors. We have no intention to,
Right.
but it's set up for that in the future in case something change.
Okay.
So it's super cheap, and
So affordability,
affordability,
but-
ease. Go ahead.
but it comes with, you need a measure of patience.
A lot more than a measure of patience. A lot of patience. A lot of patience. But once things are up and going, it's pretty smooth sailing. Like another example, my motorbike rental business. Something as simple as registering my business with Google on Google.
Right.
Just drove a lot of customers here.
Right.
And that requires nothing. 5 minutes of your time to register on Google.
Right.
And pick up your phone.
Right.
Most of the business here, like I always say, Google is a liar in the Philippines. Every time I look at a business up on Google,
Right.
It'll show up, but then when we go there, it's just like it doesn't exist. Or when we call, nobody ever, even if it's an existing business, they never pick up the phone.
Right.
So simple stuff like that, customer service. Pick up your phone.
Right.
Your business.
That frustrates both of us, and
Yeah.
that's the way the world is going.
Yeah.
Especially the globalists. There's a whole movement, of course, to use all the possible technology and get rid of as many people. And this is a country run by the
Yeah.
we landed last night at 1:00 in the morning, and Korean Airlines has about 100, I'm exaggerating, maybe 20 agency staff, and we were the only guys coming out of there because we couldn't figure out how to do this Arrive Philippine app thing.
Yeah.
It was about an hour playing
Yeah.
with that thing until some pretty little girl with a red dress came and did it in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Been there, done that. Been there, done that.
Last question, and then anything else you want to add so that we
Yeah.
can really maybe help with drive some traffic to what you're doing. What's your dream for the future? What, in light of where you've come from, your story from baby, that's all shaped you.
Yeah.
Your time in Los Angeles, your time in real estate. So I always like to know when I'm interviewing somebody where they came from. It's very important to know where our history defines us.
Yeah.
Right? It's why we talk the way we do.
Yeah.
How did you arrive here? And then the future, we look forward. So what are the dreams? What's the dream?
The dream is to, have a few successful philanthropy work.
Okay.
We already have 2 success stories, we helped a 12-year-old girl up at the Danao Mountains, develop her own YouTube channel, and her channel is making more money than my channel.
How did you do that?
And became independent. It was very spontaneous, unplanned, and originally I went with one of our subscribers. It happened to be his last day in the Philippines before he flies back to Minnesota.
Okay.
And we decided to just randomly ride up the mountains, and Danao is notorious or known as Gun City.
Okay.
And all the gun makers, the old school traditional gun makers, they reside there up in the mountains, and about 7 years ago when I was in the Philippines, I was blessed with the opportunity to witness the process from an old school. Like I'm talking about, this guy is stepping on this thing to heat up the metal to weld and stuff.
Oh yeah, it blows out the damper kind of thing.
Yeah. So I wanted to document that, the old school way is almost primitive,
Right.
It's just like the process is non-existent anymore. So that was the goal, but we ended up stopping by to get a beer and a cigarette, like refreshment from a sorry store, and this 12-year-old girl was just peeking out at us while we're flying the drone and stuff like that, capturing. But anyway, long story short, she came out, she
approached
introduced,
you.
yeah, and then conversation shook up, and she spoke perfect English, and at 12 years old, perfect English up in the mountains, and we decided, she offered to host us and tour us around her mountain community.
Right.
And then just in the tour, in conversation, towards the end of the video, she mentioned that she was talking about wants versus needs,
Right.
and at 12 years old she understands that
Wow,
concept.
that's deep thinking.
It's very deep. And then she also in the process mentioned that she wanted to become a vlogger and so on and whatnot.
Okay.
One of the subscribers from Washington State saw that this is a postal worker, no intention of coming to the Philippines, decided to donate a brand new iPhone and a laptop for her so she can pursue her dream. And one of my other subscribers brought it physically, you know, on the plane with him here.
So cool.
We donated it to her on her birthday, and then we mentored her to start up her channel. Like, I made one video with her father, which is a banana merchant, and that was her.
That would be a great
Yeah, it was like
story.
a day in the life of a banana merchant. And then I donated that video to her channel. And then before she even uploaded her first video, she already had 800 subscribers.
Nice.
And for my donated video, she gained like I forgot the exact number, but a large
was
majority
big
of
growth.
watch hours. Yeah. So she monetized within 3 weeks.
What's the name of the channel so people can go to it?
It's Mountain Angel Diaries.
Mountain Angel Diaries.
Yeah.
So go and
but
give
her initial video is on my channel, Qadventures.
Qadventures.
Yeah.
Right. I want to put both these in here. I want people to know. We
Yeah.
like helping good people.
Yeah, and like, you know, at 12, she's 13 now, but her income is like paying for her and her
Family,
sister private school, and you know, like supporting the family.
Can you talk about the other success story?
Yeah, there was a elderly Welshman that became homeless here.
Okay.
In the Philippines, and then the Philippines government doesn't have a facility for that, so they ended up taking him from the street and put him in a juvenile detention center just to house him, not as a
Right.
inmate,
Right.
just to house him because they don't have the appropriate facility to house him.
Right.
One of the workers there, a graveyard shift worker there, which is our neighbor down the street, you know, decided to take him to her home and provide for him. And she's like under minimum wage worker, and she can barely provide for himself, but out of her the kindness to do that. And she and I and myself, you know, we usually do like a after dinner walk to digest and stuff, and we saw this elderly white man that is like so skinny and so frail. So we made conversation. We turned on the camera with his permission. We turned on the camera. He told his story, and there was a lot of, you know, he overstayed his visa. There was
Right.
like 500,000 pesos worth of, you know, penalties and stuff like that. His passport his passport was active, but there was a lot of, you know, issues, and
Right.
he was fading away. And he was living in a lot of pain because he has a lot of ailments. But we got involved, and then we resolved his overstay visa with the government, Philippines immigration, and long story short, we were able to put him back on the plane, fly back to London. So that was an accomplishment in itself.
These two stories, success stories, were part of you answering your dream for the future. So I assume, maybe rightly or wrongly, you want to grow these kind of avenues
Yeah.
with people.
In what we do, because we, you know, long-term invest in, you know, kids, like we don't, like we get a lot of suggestions, why don't you start a charity or organization? But I refuse to do it because you lose a lot of freedom, because
Right.
you have to abide by, you know, certain rules now. You have to, you know, your actions are dictated by, you know, donors and investors and stuff like that, and you have to
Right.
spend money on staff and accounting and stuff
Right.
like that. So we do this on our own with our own, you know, like what we can
Income
do.
streams.
Yeah, our income streams.
Right.
So we suffer from not suffer, but we go through a lot of failures, you know, because we take on, you know, we take on mentoring kids that, you know, end up taking advantage of us. But these two success stories, you know, like
Keep you coming back.
It's just outweighs all the failures that we experience, you know.
You know, we all, I've learned in my life, come into each other's lives for sometimes just a little while and for some specific purpose. And
Yeah.
it might not be the big, out of the park,
Yeah.
grand slam,
Yeah.
but it may be a part of what the one true living God put inside of us for
Yeah.
that to happen,
Yeah.
so that they could go meet the person that is going to take and drive that home run.
I agree.
Anything you would say to inspire people? A big part of my channel has to do with sharing my travel,
Yeah.
anything that I can do to help small business owners, because that's been a big part of my life.
Yeah.
And inspiring people through the stories of other people. It was my brother that 4 years ago, when I came back from living in Japan, said, you
Yeah.
should start a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You need something to keep your energy going. And so
Yeah.
I just started, had a little iPhone 4 and a shaky selfie stick and just started talking to people.
Yeah.
And my growth is, I'm not interested necessarily in explosive growth. I'm interested in growth one at a time.
Yeah.
That's meaningful growth for me.
Yeah.
That's because I'm not really, if it becomes something else that's outside of my control and outside of my mission, it's a scrapbook.
Yeah.
And it's something that I can take and then make it about you and about I, and be one little outside, never met before cog in helping get a little more exposure in
Yeah.
a world maybe you don't touch. So inspiring people through what you've learned, through what you're going through the drive to help those that come into your path that are lost, that are hurting, that are going through something. What would you say?
Yeah, it's just, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, It's just like, I'm not a preacher. I don't preach. I'm not a cultural warrior. I don't try to change people's culture.
Right.
I respect everybody.
Right?
And, spending most of my time in Los Angeles, it's just, culture has evolved to something that I don't even recognize anymore. And this is sad.
Yeah.
While I am here, on this earth, I just want to lead by example and spread positivity.
Yeah.
And I hope that my viewers, will become my supporters.
Yeah.
And will, in some small way, contribute this to the world,
Beautiful.
in a positive way. It's just leave all these negativity alone, leave all these evil alone. It's just like we don't need more of it. It's just do something to inspire others, to help out others.
Anything you want to say?
I know.
Anything you want to add to this? What have you been dying to say? Do you care about this guy?
Yeah.
He a pretty good guy? So we can believe him? And my brother. Anything you want to ask?
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
This is Derek Quach, and that's I. And they have a Qadventures YouTube channel that's doing a lot of good in the motorcycle business and many other things. When you go see their meaningful videos, maybe you will find a way to help them touch people's lives, right?
Yes, 100%.
Thanks for watching my next Asian adventure. See you soon. Bye-bye. That's good.
Back here? Okay. And the do for will be tomorrow around 4 p.m.
No, today in a couple hours.
Close today.
Around 9.
Yeah, the contract was still.
We'll want to be here in daylight, so we're gonna come right back. It's gonna be quick.
Okay.
We'll be back in a couple hours maybe.
Take your time, sir.
Okay.
Enjoy the fun.
All right. Is down there. I wish I had free hand. I love all fruit. I would buy some, but I don't know how to carry. And I'm a little bit dangerous motorcycle rider.